Hello and welcome back to Fate Stay Night. Last time, Archer, the old Archer, showed up. The Fate Zero Archer showed up. And he's the same as always. I leave the church after talking to the priest. Oh, just as a thing to note, again, I'm recording ahead, so I'm just responding to this now. So back when I was like, oh, we should Elias of the church, a number of people comments like, why would you give her to him? He's clearly not trustworthy. And my thought on that is like, I mean, if you look at tropes of stories and such, you mean like, this might be a bad idea. But if you're looking at it from a person in that actual perspective, you might probably be like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. Now, if Emiya was like, I don't trust him because I feel as though he's a bad person and I can't do things, one, he wouldn't even come here in the first place. Two, like right now, two, he never thought that. It wasn't like he was thinking, it's like, oh, the churches are always evil and this sort of thing. He wasn't thinking that. He was just thinking he's not going to take as good of care of her as he thinks she should be taken care of. That was his reasoning, which didn't really make sense as to a reason not to. And obviously, Emiya doesn't like him, but in the terms of him not liking him, this is like probably a ton of episodes later at this point, but in terms of him not liking him, it seems pretty clear that he just doesn't like him because he says things that really irk him and make him think about things he doesn't really want to think about, and that's more the issue, which hasn't led him to any train of thought like, oh, I think he wouldn't actually do his job and take care and make sure the people stay safe. I think he would. At least, based on the current evidence, I see no sign that he's wouldn't at least make sure the people who go there for refuge stay safe. I haven't seen any reason to believe he wouldn't. So, I leave the church. Behind me.
聖杯を手に入れればセーバーは死ぬ。その意味が分かっているのだろうな、エミヤシロ。
Right, there's that whole thing about sabers. Wish and such. The priest asks as if confirming it. Hey, buddy. How you doing? The priest is looking down at me from the doorway. Zero will die if she obtains the Holy Grail. I already know that. Saber's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail, and she doesn't want the Holy Grail's power. Once she obtains Holy Grail, nothing will bind her. She'll be freed from her situation, frozen on the verge of death, and she will die an unrewarded death on that hill.
どういう風の吹き回しだ？あんたがそんな忠告をする玉か？
なに？お前がセーバーに肩入れしている様は喜ばしいのでな。聖杯を手に入れてしまえばセーバーは消える。彼女と共にいたいのならば、聖杯は諦めるべきだろうとな。
Yeah, I get the logic at least.
それこそ矛盾してる。聖杯がなかったらセイバーをとどめておけない。
聖杯に頼ることはあるまい。先ほどのサーバントの話もある。セーバーを存命させたいのなら、魂を与え続ければいいだけではない。
She still wouldn't do that.
ふざけるな！そんなことできるもんか。
It doesn't really fucking matter if she's here, if she's not here of her own free will. I glare at the priest.
そうか。それは残念だ。
He must not even care about my glare as the priest is laughing.
ならば、聖杯の中身に期待するしかないな。お前のサーバントが望まないにしても、霊樹を一つ残しておけばそれでいい。
Oh, that is a...
お前の望みは、それで叶う。
That is a fair point. The priest is saying that it doesn't matter even if Saber doesn't want it. That if I'm a master, I can just force Saber to drink using the power of the command spell. Whew. Well, yes and no. Remember the discussion about how the command spell works. It compels, but the compulsion is more driven by the duration it's done over. I suppose it wouldn't take necessarily too long, but it also depends on the magical energy able to be exerted at that point, right? In order to compel them to do things like that. Yeah? So, no guarantee that would even work.
おや、失言だったか。そう睨むな。あくまで今のは忠告に過ぎぬ。ま、セイバーの意志を尊重するのもよかろう。彼女の人生だ。 我々が口を出す権利はない。
Wow, that's a pretty respectable thing to say.
例のサーバントに関しては明日中に調べ上げよう。気が向いたのなら。
The door to the church closes. Looking over the church, I grit my teeth, telling myself that I will never come here again. Oh, I'm gonna come here again, maybe. Possibly. The fact that I said it makes me feel as though I might. I crossed the moonlit bridge. This is the place where I walked with Saber. At that time, I was just looking at the scenery, not thinking about anything.
聖杯を手に入れればセーバーは死ぬ。その意味が分かっているのだろうな、エミヤシロ。
I know. I know without him telling me. Why is everything so complicated? Saber must not obtain the Holy Grail, but it's the only thing that can save her.
彼女と共にいたいのならば聖杯は諦めるべきだろう。それでも存命させたいのなら彼女に魂を与え続ければいい。
I can't do that. Even I accepted that, Saber wouldn't. She would rather disappear than do such things. She would disappear and repeat this kind of war.
ならばレイジを一つ残しておけばそれでいい。お前の望みはそれで叶う。
I mean... I stop and punch at the rails as if shaking out the command spell. A hard steel sound echoes through the night. That's the only sound around here. There's no people, no cars around.
くそ。何をその気になってんだ。
Because
一体。
it's a legitimate option. Again, not by free will, probably wouldn't lead to the sort of life and results you want in the first place, so... I lean on the rail and spit it out. I know I should just ignore Gunumine's opinion, but his words had a charm that made me unable to ignore them. What did I want to do? And what was I trying to fight for? At first, it was to end the Holy Grail War. When did that purpose fade away and become secondary? Was it when I became obstinate about fighting by myself? Was it when I decided to cooperate with Saber after I painfully realized how powerless I was? Or... was it from that time I made a sword for her? After that night in the ruins? I'm just trying to see myself with all that. I don't even need to think about it. Back then, when I met her in the moonlight in that shed, my mind was already made up. That would have been fine. If I hadn't found out because of the dreams, this probably would have ended before I knew it. But I found out. I couldn't leave her alone and decided I didn't want to lose her. I wanted to stay like this. I wanted to keep watching her smile.
いた。
The girl, watching the sunset alone on that hill of swords. My chest hurts thinking back to it. She never had time. That was her own. I just don't like that. Ritsuku said we shouldn't let girls cry. I think a smiling face is much better than a crying one. And that's why I was irritated when Saber wasn't smiling. When I told her to smile, she said that it was better if she saw me smiling. That's... It's like seeing stars through a telescope that you can never reach.
くそ。
I look up in the night sky, looking at the star I can never reach. Drip. An unnoticed tear falls down my cheek.
俺、あいつが好きだ。
We're just getting to that point. Great. I say so. To no one. However dull I am, I have to admit it. There's nothing I can do about it. I like her so much that I can cry for no reason. Yeah, what got you up and noticed me gone? And then, Saka's standing in the doorway.
父さん、お前なんで？
玄関で立ち話もなんでしょ。疲れてるみたいだし、
She takes my arm without asking me and starts to walk. and takes me to her room. Okay. Rin, I've just admitted to liking Saber.
はいお茶。外寒かったでしょ？
She says so rather bluntly, but she's thoughtful.
ああ、サンキュー。
Honestly, I appreciate the hot tea. It's about an hour to the neighboring town. Since I walk slowly, my body's freezing cold.
で、綺麗のとこに行ってたの？
She asked me directly. I see. So Tasaka knew all along. But she didn't even stop me, just waited for me to come home and prepared me some tea. I made up my mind, and I appreciate Tasaka's thoughtfulness. That must be why.
あ、行ってきた。聞きたいことがあったから。
I reply honestly, not hiding anything.
そっか。じゃあ何をしてきたかは聞かない。
そうだな。それにあんまり身のある話じゃなかった。ただ今の状況を確認しただけだったし。
そう。でも驚いたな。セイバーがまだサーバントになりきってないだなんて。
そうだな。セイバーはサーバントになんてならなければよかったんだ。
I nod.
意外ね。シロとアッチャー、もしかしたら気があったのかもしれないな。あいつもね、シロと同じこと言ってたから。
About Saber?
アーチャーってあいつが？
そう。アーチャーも言ってたわ。自分は後悔してるからセイバーにはそうなってほしくないって。
なんであいつがセイバーの心配をするんだよ。あいつセイバーを嫌ってたじゃないか。
I don't remember that. What, did that ever come up? I don't remember that.
そうなんだけどね。やっぱりさ、あいつってセイバーにゆかりの騎士だったんじゃないかな。
Or maybe just enough empathy to actually be like, no, I don't want anyone else to experience what I've experienced.
初めてセイバーと戦った時、あいつ明らかに手を抜いてたでしょ。
そうなのか。けどセイバーはアーチャーに見覚えはないようだったぞ。
そうなの？けどセイバーは王様だったんでしょ。なら国民を全て把握していたわけでもないし、忘れてることだってあるんじゃない？
I mean, if we're going that train of thought, we could say that maybe he was someone from that time that was maybe young at the time, and maybe not someone that you would have recognized at a later age or knowledge-wise.
あのな、そういうこと言い出したらそれこそキリがない。顔を見て思い出せないようなやつならそれは知らないってことだと思うけど。
I suppose speculating why she doesn't know him might be a fool's errand.
そうでもないわよ。伝説だとさ、アーサー王の進化には運が悪くてキャメロットを追われた騎士も多いでしょ。あいつが正体を隠していたのは私にじゃなくてセイバーに対してだったって言うんなら割と納得がいくんだけど。
Wasn't he hiding his identity well before? Because he was saying he didn't remember, right? Saka's actively talking to me. Is she trying to care for me? I don't think it's having much effect, but she's a nice girl. She's usually merciless, but she tries to help people when they're weakened. And so we drink tea together for a while. She must have run out of patience, and she looks at me seriously.
で、あなたはどうしたいの？シロ。
とりあえず明日はデートする。
What? What? I can't think of anything else, and I already decided so on my way home. Wait, what? And then? Where did that solemn atmosphere go? After making a really rude face, Sasaki... I think she might be justified at the moment. Like, what? First into laughter.
ちょっと待って。ほら、心の準備が。すごいってば。すっごいわがままぶりよ、シロ。
Oh my. God damn it. Now that I think about it calmly, I should have known this was gonna happen. I'm such an idiot. Not a new story.
うるさい。わがままで悪いか。そんな場合じゃないって分かってるけど、絶対に邪魔はさせないからな。違う。シロがおかしくて。
Chisaka, it's my back holding your stomach. Couldn't this be the worst treatment I've taken so far?
心底 く笑ったわ。
She tries to catch her breath.
そりゃよかったな。こっちは全然笑えなかったけど。
デート頑張んなさい。
I mean,
私あなたたちのこと好きよ。
you're supporting it. Shouldn't we be like, let's confirm Saber's okay with it before we assume it's definitely gonna happen? Tasaka says so. Her attitude completely changed.
おう、頑張る。
That was a real surprise attack. If she says that kind of thing with that kind of expression, all I can do is nod. Oh boy. I return to my room. Saber's still asleep, and the mansion is quiet like nothing has happened. It was raining today, but what will the weather be like tomorrow? Looking at the moving clouds, I step out of character and wish it for it to be sunny tomorrow. Is this really what we're going to be doing? Moonlight 1. Okay. Huh. So, before I realize it, it's morning already.
情けない。結局一睡もできなかった。
I stop the alarm clock with a sigh. Today is my date with Saber, no matter what she says. Okay. Okay. This is gonna be weird. I'm going to go take her places she hasn't been and play around, and the most important thing is for her to enjoy herself. Okay, if you're just taking her around and trying to make her enjoy things, don't force it to be a date if she doesn't want it to be a date. That's all I'm saying. I was trying to use the knowledge I don't have to come up with as a plan for today, but the alarm clock went off before I noticed the time. I set the alarm clock just in case. I couldn't come up with any good plans last night, so I borrowed it from Tasaka, thinking I might take a long time to come up with a plan. It was useless in the end. Also, I think Tasaka really hates that alarm clock, so yeah, we should strengthen it so it will never ever break.
考えてみれば、俺デートなんてしたことなかったっけ?
I sigh again. Echo sighs louder. That's the problem. No, it's not the problem currently. It will be in a little bit if things go positively for you. Even more shocking than the fact that I couldn't get any sleep is the fact that I couldn't come up with any plan that might make a girl happy, even though I thought about it all night.
こうなったら出たとこ勝負だ。手当たり次第連れ回して、あいつに楽しみってやつを思い知らせてやる。
Winging it? Great. If we go to a cute-looking store, she's bound to have fun. Maybe. Well, I think the plan has some weak points, but I made up my mind, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's not like I have any other ideas, so I'm going to entertain her today until she gives up. How long can the Holy Grail War last?
では、イリアスフィールはまだ目を覚ましていないのですか?
For curiosity's sake, like, could we just delay this until like the last day is allowed to happen till? Like, if we're just the last one left and we don't claim it, we're like, yeah, we'll claim it later. No, yeah, we're gonna take it. No, later.
ええ、まだ眠ったままよ。あの様子なら目を覚ますのにもうしばらくかかりそうだけど、イリア、起きてればシローの後について回って邪魔してただろうし。
そうですね。今までのようにシローに同行されてはたまらない。
Oh, that's not what she means. And like...
昨夜はああなってしまいましたが、今日からは本気で残るマスターを探すのです。シローにはイリアスフィールに構っている余裕はありません。
ああ、そっちの邪魔じゃないんだけど、まあいいか。
You're enjoying this way too much, Rin.
私が言っても仕方ないし、これはシローとセーバーの問題だし。
Use the last command spell to make her go on a date with you. Tasaka tries to hide her laughter. I'm so fucking on her side at the moment.
は？私とシローの問題ですか?
Like, I'd like to see them get along, but the whole situation, oh my goodness. Saber's expression questions me. Yeah, we're done eating breakfast, so this is a good time. Saber's ready to go and search for the masters, but I have willpower as well. I just need to come out with it like a man.
そのことだけどな、セイバー、今日は隣町に出るから、支度があるなら今のうちに済ませておいてくれ。
No, come out and say it.
マスター探しですか? それでしたら隣町ではなく郊外の方が確実だと思いますが。
Rin, back there, just laughing at me. I need to like get a picture of myself, put it back there, and be like, oh my goodness.
そんなんじゃない。二人で遊びに行くんだから郊外になんて言っても仕方がないだろう。
Hanging out, that's a better way to go about it.
は
Saber freezes. I'll really have to get back to the person behind her who's trying not to laugh.
シロ、それはどういう意味でしょうか。遊びに行くとはシロとリンではなく。
俺が行くんだからついてくるのはセイバー以外いないだろう。登坂はうちでイリアの面倒を見てもらうから関係ない。
何をバカな。私とシロが隣町を探索したところで成果は薄い。そのようなことをしても意味がない。一体何をしようというのですか、あなたは。
This is so awkward. Saber complains directly. This is what I expected, but the future looks troublesome, as she still thinks we're going to the town to look for the master, even after I told her clearly.
参った。ここまで行ってもわからないんだな、セイバーは。要するに俺はデートしようって言ってるんだけど、どうかな。
You know, it would have been much better if you just said hang out and kept to that. Would have been much, much better. I asked, ignoring Tasaka's errand. I don't know how much she understands.
そのような言い方ではわかりません。具体的な内容を提示してくれませんか、シロ。
Oh, is the word not the best one for you? Are you not aware of its meaning? She asks, even less happily. That flips a switch within me. The magic circuit switch? It seems like caring for her has the opposite effect when it comes to things like this. It seems it would be to both our best benefits to state it clearly.
シロ、町に出るというのなら従いますが、デートをしようとはどういうことなのか。いくらこの時代に慣れていると言っても、私にも知らない単語はあります。あまり専門的な略語は使わないでほしい。
My goodness.
別に専門的な単語じゃないぞ。知らないなら教えてやるけど、デートってのは女の子と遊びに行くって意味だ。
Is that how we're gonna define dates? Okay. Okay.
は
Saber freezes. Is there like a word in Japanese that's not as explicitly romantic as stating that they're actually using in date's just the best equivalent? I almost feel as though that's the case, and that's making it a lot more awkward than it really needs to be.
女の子とは私のことを言っているのでしょうか。
Well, we could double check if you want. Here, come on, take off the clothes. See, murmurs, still astonished. When I nod, Saber frowns even more unhappily.
言葉の意味は分かりましたが、意図が全く分かりません。そんなことをする理由は何ですか。
Her reaction is unexpected. The intention of the date is obvious, but I'm a bit hesitant to tell Saber straight on.
ああ、もうそんならしくない単語を使うから勘違いさせるのよ。デートなんて言わずにもっと分かりやすい言葉で説明すればいいのに。
I'm 100% on Rin's side. Tasaka interrupts as if unable to ignore us.
いいセイバー。デートってのはね、要するに相引きのことなの。シロは遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
Okay. Yes, we're giving the romantic implication here. Tasaka's right, but I think a date and a rendezvous are vastly different. What? Okay, there is like some weird terminology thing going on here and how things are being phrased that makes this way weird in how things are being phrased. I think this is probably a translation issue more than anything. Not like necessarily a problem, but just the problematic nature of. I bet this conversation was in Japanese. Not that I know they're speaking Japanese, so I guess people who at least can understand what they're saying in that regard probably could at least tell me better if they care to, or if there are people. But yeah, that's what I think based on just my critical analysis of what's awkwardly happening. I shouldn't interrupt. It seems Saber finally understands what a date is.
そういうことだ、セイバー。今日一日は戦わないで町に行く。 そもそも昼間は人目につくから戦えないだろう。ならどう過ごしてもいいはずだ。
それはそうですが、しかしあまりに意味がありません。そのようなことをしてもシローには何ら得るものがないのではありませんか。
Oh, there are so many benefits for him doing this. For you, though, that's for you to decide.
そんなことはないけど、別にそうでも構わないぞ。今日はセイバーのために使うって決めたんだから、俺のことは気にするな。とにかく今日は絶対に街に行く。
I stare straight on it, Saber. After thinking of the serious face for a while,
では私が反対した場合でもシローは一人で街に出ると。
ああ、絶対に行く。そうでなきゃ一晩考え抜いたのがバカみたいだ。
それでは私が付き添わないわけにはいきません。サーバントとしてマスターを一人にすることはできないのですから。
she is trying to justify it. With a deep sigh, Saber answers in her usual manner. I get really angry about her following me because she's my servant, but I managed to succeed in getting Saber out, so I just have to take Saber places without thinking too much about it.
いってらっしゃい。お土産よろしくね。
Sure. I gesture to Saka to go to hell as she makes fun of me right to the ends, and we go outside.
それで具体的にはこれからどうするのですか、シロー。
どうするって、とりあえず隣町に出る。
The road is awfully quiet. It's past 9 on a weekday and the town is starting to come alive, but it must be a bit too early for people to start going anywhere. Past 9 on a weekend? Seems pretty late. I suppose most people who are out will be at work already. There's no one out on the road and it's like we have the place to ourselves.
そういえば学校を休むのに抵抗がなくなってるな。ここのところずっと家にこもってたし。
Oh, yeah, we do have school, don't we? Fuck, I forgot about that.
当然でしょう。シローはマスターなのですから、おいそれと出歩く方がおかしいのです。
She replies sharply. She is walking behind me as usual, but it feels different today as she's glaring at me with pure unadulterated anger. Put it nicely, I feel pressure from behind me. Yes, let's say that. Anyway, Saber's going to be harder to handle today. We get on the bus. It would have been full of people hours ago, but there aren't many people using it at this time. The only people on the bus are an old lady and a kid, so it's like we have the place to ourselves.
セイバー、一番後ろに座ろう。
I call it Saber. About to sit right at the front and sit at the back end of the bus. Saber watches the passing scenery silently. Looking at her, I realize how crazy I'm being right now. It took a while. The bus to the neighboring town is ordinary for me. But in this ordinary thing, there's something extraordinary. Well, in short, to be honest, my mind starts to twist like a Rubik's Cube, realizing we're about to go on a date! That you sort of forced on her. Oh. Crap, I'm getting really nervous. Yes, I get that she does like him, and it has been made very obvious. And the reason Rin's going along with it is because she knows both of them like each other. I'm not even sure Emmy knows that, though, so... I take a deep breath, trying not to let Saber notice. And I know I shouldn't, but I sneak one more glance at Saber. My heart jumps. Saber sitting next to me, Saber, I don't know. No, Saber herself's the same. All that's changed is the place. Still, just that makes me realize she's different. Something I didn't notice back at my place. This ordinary scene seems like a different world just because it has Saber in it. Her hair is like golden silk. Her eyes green, that are so beautiful that the mere presence is overwhelming. There wasn't much to compare her up against now, so I forgot about it. I remember the first time I met Saber. I was probably avoiding her because I was embarrassed about being fascinated by her. No matter what Saber says, she's a girl before she's a swordsman for me. I don't know how to approach her, and I didn't realize my feelings for her. It's stupid even for me. I was finally able to believe in Saber with everything I have, and then I decided to go on a date with her. Yeah. Just those two things are in the wrong order. And I finally realized when our day is about to begin just how big of a deal it is to go on a date with a girl you like. That's fine. I can only do my best, so I can't back out now. I calm myself and shake off my weak spirits. The bus has crossed the bridge and is going to the developing area where the buildings are. I breathe out and prepare myself. The announcer I'm so used to hearing announces the next stop to the station. What would be a good place for Saber to go and play at? An arcade comes to mind. A more physical activity. Emmy was talking about looking at cute stores. Probably get her a lion thing. She liked that plush from before, right? It's still 9 in the morning, but the area in front of the station is crowded. See, I could probably plan out a better date than Emmy has at the moment. At least he didn't feel like he was able to plan out anything good. Most shops open at 10, but cafes and bookstores are already open. There are already many more people than there were in Miyama City, and this place is as crowded as it is on the weekends. Getting off the bus, Saber looks around unhappily. It's only natural. Saber was against the date, and people passing by are looking at her curiously. She must not feel too good about that.
まずったな。考えてみれば、朝からセイバーを連れてくれば当然こうなる。
But that's going to follow us around for the whole day. If there's a way to calm it down, it's to make Saber have so much fun that she fears other people staring at her.
よし。
I found my fist and turned Saber.
セイバー、初めに聞いておくけど、どこか行ってみたいところはあるか？
さあ、別にこれといって興味のある場所はありませんから。そもそも私にそのような選択をする知識はありません。
本当か？そりゃ参ったな。じゃあ本当にここからは出たとこ勝負なわけか。
Oh my.
まさかとは思うのですが、何の計画も立てていないのですか、シロ？
Yeah, and guess what? I already admitted I spent all night thinking up a plan.
いや、少しはあるけど、中身はガラガラ。とりあえず手当たり次第に店をはしごしよう。
Really the best thing you could think of. Well, that's so difficult. I know places where I won't get bored, but I can't even imagine where a girl would be happy to go to. Jeez, if it's going to end up like this, I wish I'd gone out with a girl just once.
まったく反論するわけではありませんが、シロはどうかしています。
Oh, Saber enters the scolding mode. This is the first time she started to complain about something outside of the dojo. I knew she was irritated not being up for this and being looked at by curious eyes, but I didn't think she was this irritated.
かねてからあなたの見積もりの甘さには一言したかったのです。あなたは周りのことは目に入ってるくせに、結果齟齬を埋めるためにあなた自身が対価を払わなくてはならなくなると聞いているのですか、シロ？
聞いてるよ。要するに今こうしているのが納得いかないんだろ。まあ俺に連れ回されてもつまらないのは目に見えてるし、嫌がるのは当然だろうけど。
いえ、そういうことではなく、私は今はこのようなことをしている場合ではないと。
You're basically guilting her into accepting the situation.
それも分かってるけど聞かない。俺は今日一日セイバーに付き合ってもらうって決めたんだ。こればっかりはなんて言われようと曲げない。
I look at Saber. Saber just looks back at me in shock.
ただ言いたいことがあるなら聞く。文句もあるだろうし、そういうのは今のうちに言っておいてくれ。その方がお互い気兼ねしなくて済む。セイバーが俺とデートするのが嫌だって言うんなら別の方法だって考える。
あ、いえ、何もそこまでする必要はないと言いますか。私
Saber averts her gaze and runs out of words.
なら文句はないんだな。じゃあ行くぞ。セイバーにリクエストがないんだからどこ行ったって怒るなよ。
I'm considering an ordinary place like an aquarium. Might not be a bad idea. What would be something that she would really not have experienced before in any form, even if it's just like a cursory, yes, we have brought this entertainment for the king. You shall see this entertainment and you shall be pleased by it because you are the king, sort of thing going on. I decide and grab Saber's hand.
シロ、 文句はありませんが、何も手をつかむ必要はないのではありませんか。
I still think an arcade or anything equivalent that like gives her a physical activity she can try to like almost master, because it feels like she really well, it seems like she enjoys the pursuit of mastering her art. I feel like she might be able to get into that sort of thing.
いや、時間ももったいないし、少し走るからな。
いえ、こんな状態では
I start to run without waiting for Saber's reply. Since I'm talking to Saber, I can't act miserable now. I just have to take her to every possible place I can think of. I run holding Saber's hand. She must have accepted it. Saber finally stops complaining and follows me quietly. Well, it's before 10 o'clock. I'll make the 2 hours before lunchtime worthwhile and surprise her. To summarize, the 2 hours went by like a storm. We went to a boutique I don't usually go to, and we played bowling while I taught her the rules. Oh, cool. That's a good idea. I couldn't find an aquarium, but we fed some birds in the park. You couldn't find an aquarium? Are you not aware of what like attractions like as big of an aquarium would be in the area are? We also went to Night's store, and I still think it was the best not to go to the movie theater. Anyway, I kept talking to her I kept taking her places a girl might like for the past 2 hours, and there are many results. Honorable defeats and total defeats. But I don't think this is what people would call a date. This is more like a contest, a fight to the death, where the first one to give up loses. Saber's the same as usual, no matter where I take her, and she sometimes goes so quiet that I seriously start wondering if she's really mad. She gives no reaction, so I become desperate to make her happy in the next place I take her to. As a result, I became obstinate about making Saber smile, and ran around different places all morning. It's already noon without much success. So, as Saber reminded me it's time for lunch, I decided to take a short break, but... An excellent question. Where are we? I complained once we're seated at a table.
昼食なら川沿いの喫茶店がおすすめよ。
Oh boy. How much is this gonna cost us? I think Emmy has money. That's the only advice Sasaki gave me last night. I trusted her and chose this place, but I never thought it would be so... fastidious? I think that's it. Not really familiar with that word. I'll look at the menu. Fortunately, the menu has a version of Japanese as well, so I have no problems reading it. But the trouble is, I can't understand what kind of food it is from the name, and the prices are outrageous. Hey, Saber, you might know better than me.
火星か、ここは。何を頼んでいいのか全くわからないぞ。
I groan looking at the menu.
シロ、ここには昼食を取るために立ち寄ったのではないのですか？
I hear a rather frail voice from the other side of the table.
そうなんだが、いかんせん勝手が違うというか。
It's hard to tell what is actually good. I raise my head, and then there's Saber with an expression like a cornered rabbit.
セイバ
ー？落ち着かないのなら、今だけでも屋敷に戻りましょう。シロが用意してくれるものの方が私は好みです。
Oh, you don't know that. You've not prepared it here.
それは家に帰りたいってことか？
いえ、屋敷に帰りたいわけではなくですね。今日はひどく緊張したので、普段より疲れてしまったのです。
本当か。そっか。ここで飯にして一息ついたらまた街を出歩こうと思ったんだけど。
まさかそのようなことはありません。疲れたというのは語弊がありました。
Hungry. The small gurgling sound was fortunately small enough that only I could hear. Oh, she's hungry. She could have just told me.
申し訳ありません。つまり、昼食は早めにしてもらえると助かるということです。
了解。そうだな。面白みがないけど、無難なところを頼んでみて。
It's simple if all we want are light snacks. I order 2 things from the lunch menu and decide to eat quickly. I consider what to do in the afternoon while drinking the after-meal coffee. What I learned this morning is that anything physical is not good. Really. Saber gets serious when it comes to contests. Oh, I figured she'd enjoy that. Okay. That's good for me, but it makes Saber stand out even more, which she doesn't like. After we finished the game, Saber got angry because she caught all the attention she wanted to avoid.
そんなわけで体を動かすのは避けると。
Okay, so it's not a matter of that being a problem. It's a matter of the attention. Okay.
なあセイバー、2度目になるけどどこか行きたいところってあるか？
私にですか？いえ、特にはありません。私ではわかりませんから、このままシロにお任せします。
How about... Something... Could you just tell me something that you might have always wanted to do, but maybe never have done before? Even if in vague terms, maybe I can associate it with something that actually exists around here. Saying so, Saber lifts her tea cup. Saber ordered English tea, and it seems she really likes the taste. We don't have much English tea at my place, and even if we did, it's in all instant tea bags. It seems Saber was a bit dissatisfied with the drinks at my house, as she seems to like English tea. I should put that in consideration starting tonight. Saber's sitting there and drinking tea. She doesn't seem happy or bored. If I had to use one word to describe her, it'd be that she looks natural. She drinks her tea, sitting up straight, in the shadows of the streaming sunlight. Even though this is the first time I've seen such a thing, it doesn't seem strange. It feels like I've seen such a scene before. Why do I feel that? Saber I know is a tense girl. Saber I know is a tense girl who's always holding a sword and fighting.
ああ、そうか。
But it's only natural. I also know her attitude after she lets go of her sword. When she stops fighting, Saber's always been calm and gentle. The scene looks natural rather than new because it is her true nature. No matter how superior she is as a swordsman, it is natural for Saber to be like this. Rather, it's abnormal for her to hold a sword at all. Yeah, I'd say two sides of the same coin. I once thought in my dream that she wasn't suited for fighting. I don't think I'm wrong. No matter how superior her technique, no matter how many battles she's experienced. As long as she is who she is, it can't have been a comfortable place to be. So this is natural. Saber's resting and not holding a sword. This calm scene is the way she should be. We do the same thing in the afternoon. I go to every place I can think of and Saber follows me silently. It's not as painful as it was in the morning. I don't know if it's because I'm getting used to it or whether Saber's just complying. Saber still isn't talkative, but if I look closely, her expression isn't like it is when she's mad. There's a feeling of accomplishment and happiness when I see Saber leave a shop with light steps. So, considering many factors, that might make Saber happy from many angles. Yeah, I was talking about maybe getting her something line related. Yeah, that would make sense. Saber stands there dumbfounded. I don't know if her shoulders are shaking because she's angry or because she's deeply moved.
シロ、ここは。
街で一番品揃えのいいぬいぐるみ屋だってさ。男子禁制らしいんで立ち寄ったことはなかったけど。
Wait, what? Why? Of course, that's not, there's actually not a rule like that. But since there are only women and no men, it's like an unwritten rule. Okay, so it's just a place that doesn't appeal to men. Basically. Typically. To prove it, there are only girls in here. Not a single couple. I guess bar you two. The golden hair saber is being stared at, but being a guy, I'm being glared at. I'm sure they want to tell me to not come into their sanctuary. Okay. I feel the same way. I would not approve of men entering this place.
ま、せっかく来たんだから周りは気にせず見て回ろう。
その、主に獅子やヒョウなどは愛らしいと思っているのですが。
She asked me with upturned eyes. I look away instantly, saving my laughter. The funny thing is, Saber is strange for thinking she's strange for thinking lions are cute.
シロ、今の行為は不自然です。何か言われのない怒りを覚えるのですが。 私の気のせいでしょうか。
Hey, don't blame me. You're the one who called it unreasonable.
いや悪い悪い、ライオンってのがあんまりにもセイバーらしかったんでつい。
人の趣味を笑うのは良くないことです、シロ。それにライオンも悪くありません。
だからすまなかったって。お詫びにいいとこに連れてくから、それで機嫌を直してくれ。
I get into the store while trying to hold my laughter. Well, looks like the stuffed animals are that way. So, it's taken about an hour to go around the store. I looked at Saber staring at stuffed animals and felt really nervous with all the girls there. Anyway, it was the most tiring hour so far. But the worst part is we only looked through half the store. It took this long just to look at half because Saber's frequently paralyzed. I mean, Saber just kept staring down at stuffed animals. Looks like Saber's interested in the other half too, so I'll have to accompany her.
シロ、どうしたのです、ため息をついて。
まあちょっと疲れた。こんな程度で音を上げるほどやわじゃないんだけどな。
I let on a big sigh. I don't mind being looked at by other people walking with Saber, but a girl's only place like this is really uncomfortable. Boredom sometimes tires one body.
そういうセイバーは大丈夫か？こういう店初めてだろ？
確かに私も落ち着きませんが、シロの方が居心地が悪そうです。ここだけではなく、先ほどの店もその前の店でもそうでした。まさかとは思うのですが、シロは自分で行きたくない場所を選んでいるのではないですか？
From me, Saber's words are enough to cast away my worries.
そうだな。正直に言えばあえて苦手なところを選んでるけど。
やはりどうかしています、シロ。慣れないと分かっていて。
いやだって女の子にはこういう場所のが似合うだろう。遊びに行こうって連れ出したのは俺なんだから。今日はセイバーの日なわけだし。それにそう居心地悪くないぞ。セイバーがいるから大丈夫。隣にこれだけ美人がいるんだから、妬まれることはあれ、場違いだって思われることもないし。
何をバカな。武装していなくても私はサーバントです。いかに非戦闘時だからといって私を女性扱いする必要はありません。普段通りサーバントとして扱ってください。
You're way too late on that one.
バカはそっちだ。普段通りも何もセイバーは初めっから女の子じゃないか。
In astonishment, Saber opens her mouth as if she's realized that.
いえ、同じです。あなたはいつも通りのシロでした。
だろ？だから俺に気を使う必要なんてないぞ。
What you really should realize here, Saber, is that he always treats you like you're a girl over a servant.
ほら、それじゃ行こう。一番気に入ったものを買うんだから、あと半分も見ないとダメだろ。
Bar, I suppose, like when you're in a fight. When that's only some of the time during that. I take Saber's hand. Saber silently follows me.
そうでした。初めからそうだったのに、今になって気がつくなんて。
Oh, is this gonna be a bad realization? A rebellious realization? Maybe. The unusual day goes by quickly. Saber never laughed, nor could I laugh from my heart. It's not like there are any memorable. It's not like there was any memorable moments, nor was it so boring that I regret doing it. To be frank, this was nothing. Saber might have been happier if we stayed at the mansion and trained together. But today wasn't bad. It wasn't fun or boring, but I can be proud of it in the end. After the battle's over and everything goes back to normal, it'd be too sad if all this time Saber and I had to spend fighting. Even if it's something stupid, she has to spend some time not fighting, or there's no point in her being here. So, I can be proud of myself for now. The end is near. When everything comes to an end, and when there's no more need to fight, if Saber will remember this moment, and remember that this happened, that alone is enough for me to be proud of. That's a fair attitude to take in this situation. Try to just do the best for her, give her more experiences, and accept fate, in a way. We can go home on foot. Because Saber said,
帰りは歩いていきましょう。
just as I decided to go home by bus. Chilly. There's some wind now. The vivid setting sun is lighting the bridge red. Saber notices something and stops. She is watching a mountain of rubble. It's not that tall, even though it's a mountain of rubble. Steel frames and the lights are powered right up to the water surface, and are slightly distorting the flow of the river. I don't know why, but it seems like a ship sank or something, and pieces of it flowed into a mountain. I heard the local residents have been demanding its removal for a long time since it damages the beautiful sight. Is this the sort of river that actually gets river transit by boats, small boats, even cargo and whatnot? Because if that's the case, then that would be even way worse.
なんだよセイバー、あれが気になったのか。
いえ、まだ残っていたのかと。あれの原因は私ですから。前回の戦いで水上戦を余儀なくされ、ここで宝具を使ってしまった。
Okay. I don't remember a ship, but okay.
被害は川を干上がらせただけでしたが、運悪く停泊していた船を巻き込んでしまったのです。
はあ、巻き込んだってまさかエクスカリバーにか。
そうなのですが、幸い乗客はいませんでしたし、被害も大きくなかったんです。川だって今では元通りですし、そう起こらなくともいいではありませんか。
But if a boat was docked there, that would imply that this river is used for transit. Okay, well, that seems like something that you could get rid of pretty darn quickly.
私だって反省しているのですから。
I should watch out. I'd take care to only use Excalibur in an open place like this.
シロ、まだ怒っていますか。
いや別に怒ってない。ただびっくりしただけだ。あとはまあ前回の名残って結構あるんだなって。中央公園のあれのに比べたら川の瓦礫なんて問題じゃないだろう。まあ船の持ち主は災難だったとは思うが。
それはご安心を。船の持ち主には保険が下りたと桐次が言っていましたし、もともと緩衝材にするつもりで船を止めさせたのですから。船体を壁に見立てて宝具の威力を削いだのですね。
Still does not ring a bell.
なんだ、じゃあ初めから承知で船を壊したってことか。
承知していたわけではありません。あれは桐次が私に黙って用意していたものです。そうですね。桐次には戦いの流れが読めていたのでしょう。
Huh. Saber looks down at the river yearningly. The water surface reflects the sunset. The wind comes from the river is a bit strong. The wind coming from the river is a bit strong and flutters Saber's hair. Is it because she looks so beautiful like that?
セイバー、今日は楽しかったか。
I was assaulted by a sudden fear that Saber might just disappear, and I asked her something I don't need to ask.
はい。何か言いましたか、シロ。
言った。今日は楽しかったか聞いた。
She gasped. Saber opens her eyes in amazement.
そうですね。新鮮でないと言えば嘘になります。
She says so in a voice of hope. As if such a thing will never happen again. I knew what her answer would be. All I can do now is nod and just go home. Everything can return to the way it was, just like that.
そうか。
My nod. Looking at Saber.
ならまた行こう。こんなの別に今回限りってわけじゃないんだから。
And I say something I won't be able to take back. Saber freezes. She must have realized what I wanted to say. She shakes her head, looking directly at me. As if saying there won't be a next time. As if this mistake is only for today.
それはなぜ？
I know Saber's answer. But I ask, not liking the answer I expect.
なぜも何もない。サーバントは戦うために存在するものです。シローが休憩すべきだと判断したから従いましたが、もうこの先は体を休める必要はないでしょう。残る敵は少ない。シローが命じるなら今すぐにでもランサーを探し出したいほどですが。
She looks at me with eyes full of fire. Saber's saying she will start fighting right now if I order it. That's... causes me to get mad about all the things I can't approve of.
なんだよそれ。そんなに戦いたいのか、お前。
当然でしょう。戦えば戦うほど聖杯に近づくのです。私にとって戦闘は何よりも優先すべきことです。
ああ、分かってる。だからおかしいんだ。前から言いたかったんだけどな。矛盾してるぞ、お前。セイバーは戦いが大事だって言う割に、自分から戦いたいなんて思ってないだろう。
そんなことはありません。私は戦闘をためらわない。勝利するためならば手段は選ばないと言ったでしょう。
Yeah, she did say that. It's not a reason to like fighting.
できる範囲でだろ。いいか、セイバー。単純に他のマスターを倒して聖杯を手に入れるって言うんならさ、ライダーみたいに人を襲って力を得ればいい。
それは
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないんじゃない。いざ戦いになれば人は死ぬものだとお前はよく分かっている。そうだからこそお前は戦闘を最小限に抑えたがっていた。戦えば死者は出る。
Rubbing her eyes as if she's seen a ghost, she grits her teeth and straightens her stare.
違います。私は戦いを怖がってなど今。
そうだな。確かにお前は初めから怖がってなんていなかったと思う。そんな個人の恐怖なんて王の使命とやらで塗りつぶされていたんだろうから。だけどそれでもお前は戦いを嫌ってる。お前は単に強くて戦いがうまかっただけだ。はっきり言うぞ。お前は戦いになんて向いていない。本当は剣を取ることさえ嫌だったはずだ。戦うことだけが目的だっていうのはお前自身がお前をごまかすための言い分に過ぎない。
It's so simple. Why didn't you or anybody around you notice it?
シロ、いくらあなたでもそれ以上の侮辱は許しません。
図星だから我慢できないんだろ。認めたら戦えなくなるからな。
She grits her teeth. Civic glares at me in anger. I can't back away. If I believe I am right, I cannot run away.
だからやめろよ。お前だってやめたがってるんだろ。剣なんて自分に向いてないって分かってるんだろ。サーバントなんてやめてもっと自分に向いたことをしろ。
She needs to regain the happiness that she should have had as a human. That I...
バカなことを。私に戦う以外の選択肢などありません。この私は聖杯を手に入れるためだけのものです。王の誓いを守るためにこの身を差し出した。それ以外の自分の使い道など。
I only exist to obtain the Holy Grail. That annoys me the most. Why she says ridiculous things like that as if to convince herself? Everyone around her took her word because she kept saying things like that.
バカ、そんなことあるか。道なんていくらでもある。お前はここにいるんだ。ならこれからは自分のために生きなきゃダメだ。間違っても聖杯を。
The final wish she's permitted.
どうでもいい他人のためなんかには使うな。ここにいるならセイバーはここで幸せにならなきゃダメだ。
I hear the wind. Saber doesn't answer. She doesn't even nod. She just looks back at me.
その言葉にはうなずけない。私はあなたに従うと契約した。だが心まで預けたわけではありません、マスター。
She replies with a strong voice.
王の誓いは破れない。私には王として果たさなければならない責務がある。アーサー王の目的は聖杯の入手です。それが叶おうとも私はアルトリアに戻ることはないでしょう。私の望みは初めから一つだけ。剣を手にした時からこの誓いは永遠に変わらないのですから。
なんでだよ。セイバーがやらなくちゃいけないことはそんな最後まで報われないなんて。お前には聖杯なんて必要ない。それに
And Saber's wish won't come true. It's impossible to erase everything that's happened.
セイバー、起きてしまったことをやり直すなんてできないんだ。
いいえ、決してそんなことは。
なら言ってやる。たとえどんなにひどい結末だろうと、できなかったからやり直しがしたいなんて、そんなのは子供のわがままと同じじゃないか。
And our words end there. Saber doesn't say anything, and I don't have anything to say. The wind has stopped as well. No. The wind hasn't stopped, it's only died down for a second. Another sound of wind. Just as I feel the wind on my cheek.
シローなら分かってくれると思っていた。
And the wind has changed into a headwind.
今日一日無意に過ごし、言いたかったことはそれだけですか。
Oh, you just pushed her into a point of her rejecting everything you wanted to do for her. A cold voice. It contained only rejection.
思い上がらないでほしい。あなた程度の人間に私の何がわかるというのです。
Yeah, that is a fair point. I think Emiya is saying something that she's denying herself, but to outright ignore her entirely and force his ideals onto what he thinks she should be, it's not sitting right with me. I know she could have a happier life, but isn't that something she should choose for herself?
あなたに私に踏み入る権利などない。戦うなですか。私に守られなければならない未熟なマスターが何を。そのような世まい事を吐くのは一人で戦えるようになってからにしてください。まあそんなことは永遠にありえないでしょうが。
Wow.
違う。世まい事って。
ですから世まい事でしょう。自分のことを考えろですって。あなたは自分の命が感情に入っていない。あなたは私が間違っていると言いますが、あなたの方こそ自身より他人を優先するなど死者の考えだ。自身の命の重みも知らない大バカ者がよくもそんなことを言えたものです。
セイバー、お前。
勘に触りましたか。ならいっそのこと契約を解除しても構いません。あとは私一人でマスターを破り聖杯を手に入れるだけですから。
Or you could just go to Rin, who's sitting at home.
そんなに戦うのが嫌ならばあなたは遠くで隠れていればいいでしょう。
セイバー、お前、それ。
I ask with a trembling voice. My teeth are chattering because I'm suppressing my emotion.
当然です。私の目的は聖杯だけ。それ、シロ。それはあなたも例外ではありません。
I stop breathing. I bear my head going white and manage to restart my stopped heart.
この分からずや。へい、そんなに戦いたいってんなら勝手にしろ。もう俺は知らないからな。
Yeah, this is progressing well. But I can't stop my emotions. I yell what sounds like an excuse and run away from Saber. I get away from her. But for a moment, I think I see Saber standing there absent-mindedly.
くそ。
I run. I keep running, not knowing what's so vexing or maddening.
それ以外のことなど余計だ。シロ。それはあなたも。
I grip my teeth hard, stop myself from yelling out. Just remembering it makes me white out and I might run into a pole or something. Oh, I'm hoping that's gonna happen. That would be great. No, it would be easy if I could do that. If I was just angry at Saber, I could just take it out on something. That's not the cause of the fury. It's not just Saber that I'm mad at. It's vexing and I keep running so hard because I hate how weak I am. Saber standing there absent-mindedly. What she said, just as the wind changed directions.
シロなら分かってくれると思っていた。
くそ、そんなの分かるか、バカ。
I spit that out, then regret it so much I almost fall. What was it about? Her voice, like a farewell, sounded like she was crying. Come to think of it, maybe those words were the only honest things she said. Those words murmured with her head hung. A voice of hope, disappointment, and wishes. And then, Who is the betrayer? And who was betrayed? Oh. Who's the datum? I run into my room and shut the door. I collapse. I don't want to stand up. I just want to lie down and go to sleep. But my body's still burning. My head feels like it's splitting open. My lungs are desperate for air. I ran full speed from the bridge to here. My body must be exhausted. I haven't run enough emotionally. But my body's telling me to calm down. I slowly calm down. I take a deep breath and let it out. And after I settle my breathing, all that fills my head is the question of why I was so enraged. I don't even have to think about it. I ran as if throwing something off me because I was so powerless. I cannot save Saber. That fact is so vexing that I was angry at myself. I can't do anything. I promise to make her laugh. I promise to protect her, but I can't do anything that makes me furious.
けどどうしろってんだ。セイバー自身が自分の幸せを求めていない限り。
That's why I tried hard, so she'd be able to find her own happiness. But she told me that was meaningless. And on top of that, she called me a fool.
自身の命の重みも知らない。
What can I do when she says that? I value my life as well, and I don't want to do anything that might endanger it. This has nothing to do with Saber. I think it's unfair of her to bring it up right there. No matter how stupid I am, I'm sure Saber's wrong. Just like she's thinking in reverse. If she denies me like that, I can't do anything.
くそ。もう勝手にしろ。
I turn over and lie on my stomach. The floor is the only view, so I close my eyes to black out my mind. That's it. I don't care about Saber anymore. No, definitely not, yeah. If the Holy Grail is so important to her, she can go marry it. Oh, Emiya. Great old Emiya. She is so obstinate, she doesn't stand after I've told her this much. I'll be burned if I associate with her anymore. Oh my goodness. No, I'd be seriously hurt. I've already been hurt, though. Not just burned. I met her, fought with her many times, even saw into the depths of her heart to survive. That heart, I remember the light deep within her. Why'd I recall such a thing at a time like this? That faraway plane, the memories of that girl left behind. If I recall that beauty, it won't matter what Saber says.
何が戦うだけのものだ。それなら半端に弱い部分なんて見せるなって言うんだ。
Anyways, Saber's unfair. I don't know what's so unfair, but I think it's unfair and I don't know what's unfair. I can't hate her even though I'm this mad, and the more I try to ignore her, the more I can't. It's such a contradiction. You know, it's like trying to think, like, okay, let's not think about it, and then all you can do is think about it. Her whole existence is unfair. I can't hate her no matter what.
畜生。惚れた方が負けってこういうことか。
But I can't help it. If I can't give up no matter how useless she tells me it is, I have to keep trying until the end. No matter how much Saber hates it or rejects me, I believe I'm right.
シローなら分かってくれると思っていた。
I remember her face, about to cry. In the future, will she make that kind of face every time I repeat this?
それでもだ。どんなことになっても。
Even I'm wrong and Saber's right. If she's really important to me, I can never apologize to her. Oh boy. Oh boy. I think that is where I am going to end it for today. This recording session in particular, still recording ahead. As notes, probably quite a few episodes ahead too at this point. Not caught up on the editing, but still. So I will see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.